everyone, welcome to Pour Painting with Ron. I hope you've all been well and enjoying your painting. I certainly have. Well, today I thought I would be doing a multi-flip cup pour again. I haven't done one of those in a while and I had some colours that I wanted to play with today. Right, so I'm using all Montmartre colours today on this, 35 by 70 centimetre canvas. I find that the multi-flip cup pours work really well on the rectangular canvases. So as usual, I've taped off the back with some painter's tape and put in some giant push pins to keep it off the surface of the table. And I've made sure my painting is level, otherwise the paint will run off while it's drying. Alright, so as I said, I'm using all Montmartre colours today. I'm using their phthalo blue and cerulean blue, and I'm using burnt umber, and I'm also mixing it with a bit of white to create a lighter colour, and then I'm just using white on its own. Now the pouring medium I'm using today is Elmer's glue all rather than my usual Floetrol. I'm wanting more controlled cells today, and I find Floetrol gives me just bizarre, crazy cells when I do a multi-flip cup. If you're going for that, by all means use Floetrol, but the glue all tends to give a bit more controlled results. So I'm using today, rather than my usual 60% glue, 40% water mix, I'm trying today a 70% glue and a 30% water mix, a little bit thicker. See if that works any better than the other mix I usually do. Well, we'll soon find out. So I'm adding my pouring medium, 1 part pouring medium to 1 part paint, although the burnt umber was quite thick, so I ended up using a little bit more. So I ended up using about, altogether was about 250 grams of mixed up colour. So half colour and half pouring medium, give or take a little bit. Anyway, let's get started. Right, so these are my mixed up colours. I'll show you the consistency. Reasonably thick. If I drizzle it off the spoon, the bump stays there for just over 3 seconds. So 3 to 4 seconds. So nice and thick. If it's too thin, you're just going to get all the colours blending and huge, enormous cells. But again, if it's too thick, you'll get teeny weeny little cells or none at all. So it's a bit of a balance. Right, so I've got my normal colours here. This was the burnt umber with the white, so I used about 1/3 burnt umber and 2/3 white to get this colour. All right, now to get my cells today, I'm using the Montmartre silicone oil, and I usually add for this mix about 1 drop every 40 grams. So there was about 250 grams, so I need about 6 drops in each colour, except the white. I won't put any in the white. So I'll add my 6 drops. Nothing worse than putting all your colours in the cups and then realising you've forgotten to add the oil. I've done that before. You don't get cells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. I think that was about 3. Oh no, I didn't want any in the white. Oh well, I've done it now. I can scoop a little bit off. I got carried away. I'll just scoop the silicone off if I can see it. I think that's most of it gone. Okay. Wouldn't have been a big disaster if I had it in the white, but I just didn't want any in there. Alright, so you need to mix it in reasonably well, but you don't want to overdo it. Otherwise you just get lots of teeny weeny little cells. If you don't mix it enough, then you'll just have a few big blobs of silicone creating a huge cell or a caterpillar, and no cells anywhere else. Right, I'll just put them aside so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to start off with dark colour, lighter, dark, light, and then white, and then repeat. So start with the burnt umber. You don't want your layers too thin. A little more in this one, a little more in that one. Well, then we've got this nice cerulean blue. You don't have to do your cups all exactly the same. I want to make sure I have enough for my second layer. I don't want the two blues next to each other. Now, just put these cups aside. The joy of washing them up later. Put the silicone away. There we go. Now, we'll put these cups aside. As I said, you don't have to put them all the same. You can mix your colours up a little bit. And we'll bring in the canvas. Quite a large canvas, this one. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to put all the cups from one side today. So I'll just spread them evenly along. Like so. I think that's about right. Now some people just flip really quick over, but I tend to throw paint everywhere. So I use my metal wall scraper tool to help me flip the cups over. So all I do is put the cup upside down. I'll put it here and then turn the canvas around. And then slide it off, just like so. As you can see, I don't get paint everywhere. I'm going for like a beachy sort of look today. Like the sand and the water. Last time I did this one, it turned out quite nice. I just hope one colour doesn't take over too much. Cool, that's that. I'll just adjust my cups. Always find flipping and dragging a bit tricky. You don't want all the paint in one spot. You want it sort of like spread out in a line. And you don't want too much left in the cup when you get to the other end. Okay, we'll just let it sit for a second. Let the paint go down. You can wipe the inside with a little bit of silicone spray if you want to. It helps release the paint from the cup. I usually don't bother, but you can if you want to do that. Now, if you have a smaller canvas, you have fewer cups. If you have a bigger canvas, you have more cups and larger cups. You use a larger cup, particularly if the canvas is a bit wider than this one is. Okay, that should do. I'll start at this end. So as you lift, you pull the cup backwards. Okay, now I will do the corners because they're always hard to cover. And I'll just do a dribble down there because I can. Whoop. Too fast. So I did it too quick. That's better. I just put it at the edges. Don't feel tempted to put it in the middle because the colours look yuck. But on the edges, it all falls off the canvas anyway. See, I had quite a bit left in the cup this time. So I don't waste that. Okay. Now quite a few air bubbles. Move these out the road. Yeah, dangle that in. I'll see where most of my paint is. I'll just move the paint a bit before I torch. I'm just wiggling it to and fro to see if I can fill up those gaps. Just tip it off that corner. Tip it off that corner, and then I'll torch. We've got some cell action happening already. Don't get too close. You'll get an explosion of cells. white was a bit thick. Okay. Oh, it looks as though it's going to be interesting. Now, hopefully my paint wasn't too thick and the cells stay small. Okay, now I'll just work the paint backwards and forwards. I want to get it to that side. Okay, I'll bring it back. You don't have to be in too much of a hurry. I do have plenty of paint on the canvas. The corners I always find a bit tricky. Here we go. I don't always go for the perfectly straight lines. Take it over the corner. See if I can center it a little bit. Okay, and then I'll bring it back to the middle. I do want to stretch those cells a bit more if I can, because they're really little at that end. Okay, bring it back. This way a bit. And I'll just move it that way a bit. All right. That's not too bad. Okay, interesting mix of browns and blues and white. Not particularly fussed on that bit with the white at the top. Yeah, but there's nothing we can do about that. I might give it a little bit of a torch again, just to see if I can bring up anything else here. more little ones popping up. Yeah, that's not too bad. There's a fly buzzing around. They better not land in my painting. I'll just wiggle it backwards and forwards a bit. See if I can encourage those new cells to grow a little bit. Because they're just little pinpricks at the moment. Okay. Oh, get away, fly. Right, now to stop the paint getting pulled off your canvas, you need to go around the sides and just clear off any paint. Now, I've forgotten a whole bit here. Let's pick up some paint and drizzle it on the side. That's better. Scrape off the bottom edges. You may need to do that a couple of times. The drips don't look nice and they tend to pull the paint off your canvas as well. Oh, there's a little bit not covered. Where was that? I can't see it now. Oh, yeah. So we'll go around the other side. Just reach without bumping the camera. Now I think if my mix would have been a bit thinner, I would have got bigger cells happening. But we've got some quite interesting cells here. Some little ones and some big ones, multicoloured rings. I did over torch here a little bit because the paint has developed a little bit of a skin on the top, so you do need to be aware of that. Okay, I think that's done. I'll bring you in for a closer look. Now here we go, here's the finished painting. Just bring you down. And we've got some lovely cells happening. A few bizarre looking cells. Not quite sure what happened in here. You see those cells there? They're a bit bizarre looking. here is where I over torched a little bit, so I'm hoping it will dry okay. We'll soon find out. I got it like a skin over the top. These cells here are lovely. So what did you think? I think the end result was quite interesting. A few things I do a little bit differently perhaps next time, maybe slightly thinner mix. I may use 4 cups instead of 5 so I can spread a little bit more sideways just to open it up a little bit. And as I said, be careful with the torching because you'll burn your paint or you'll get a skin over the top, which isn't good. So I'm hoping that dries. But it certainly looks very, very beachy, which is sort of the look I was going for, and there wasn't a particular colour that took over from all the other colours, so I'm happy about that. Anyway, perhaps you'd like to try that yourself, that colour combination or a multi-flip cut pour if you haven't tried that before. All right. I'm going to clean up now. That's the not fun part of the job, but you got to do what you got to do. I hope that you enjoyed the video today. If you did like what you see today, please press the like button. Helps my content get found on YouTube. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, please take a moment to subscribe. So I hope you have a good week ahead and happy painting.